Page 52. Do we have questions about page 52? If you need a handout, there are extra handouts in front. 前面还有讲义. And if you didn't take back your midterm exam, they're also in front. 还没有拿回期中考卷的也在前面可以拿. Questions about page 52? No? Okay, page 53. No questions? Page 54. Questions about page 54? D. Okay. Yes. So here it is apparently plural because there's no reason for this to be a possessive. If it's possessive, the network's what? What of the network? Doesn't make sense. So the person who wrote an S here is probably thinking of plural. Otherwise, there wouldn't be an S. So find out why networks, no apostrophe, can't apostrophe, broadcast Tuesdays apostrophe, speech live, as John needs primetime publicity. By the way, I should also remind you, this is a memo list. This is an informal list of things to do. If this were more formal, there should be the here, the networks. But in informal lists, we often omit the these articles. Other questions about page, whatever page this is, 54? No? Okay. Page 55? No? The second half of page 55 is really fun because every question, the answer is change some to a lot of. You can use a lot of for countable and uncountable. So every single one can be changed to a lot of. No? Okay. Page 56. Questions about 56? No? Okay. 57. Questions about 57? No? Oh, top or bottom? Bottom number 3. I like to travel because I like to learn about other country and custom. Okay, so country and custom are both countable, which means you have to count them. Either singular, which means this should be another, or plural, which means countries and customs. Okay? Okay, great. Other questions about this page? Okay, next page, 58. Do we have questions about page 58? No? Okay, then 59. Questions about page 59? No? Okay, if you don't have questions, we'll begin this week's unit. This week we're doing pronouns and demonstratives. So first, pronouns. We can start with the personal pronouns, right? You should know these. He, she, it are subject. In the object, they are him, her, it. In the possessive, which is technically last week, but we're going to put it here, they are his, her, and its. Be careful. There's no apostrophe here. Its as a possessive has no apostrophe. Let's also do the plural. Second person is you and you. And third person is they. So this would be you. This would be them. This is your. And this is their. And then we also have the, sorry, this should be the possessive adjective. We also have the possessive pronoun, the thing that belongs to. So this would be his, hers. I don't think we can have its, right? Oh yeah, we can. Its, yours, and theirs. I feel like we're missing something. Why do I feel like we're missing something? Ah, yes. Second person, uh, first person plural, I should say. We, right? So this should be our. And then this should be not our. Hang on. We, us. This should be us. Sorry. Okay, I know what's wrong. I need to do like a 2D chart here. It's first person, second person, and the third person, and then you have subject, object, possessive adjective, and possessive noun. Um, okay, let's expand this chart. 1 second. So this is first person would be singular plural. So this is I and we. Second person, this is you. Yes. And then this is third person. Right. Okay. And then for the object, first person is uh, me and us. Second person is you, right? Yes, you. And then all this other stuff is third person. Possessive, first person is my and our. Second person is your. Third person is his, her, its, and their. Finally, possessive noun. First person is mine and ours. Second person is yours. And then third person is his, hers, its, and theirs. Okay, that's correct. So sorry about that. And then we have the reflexives. You can add the word or the suffix self or selves to the end of let's say these: myself, ourselves, yourselves, his self, herself, itself, and actually they should be themselves. Yeah, so let's write these out actually. Reflexives are myself, ourselves. This is first person. Second person is yourself or yourselves, depending if you're talking about one person or more than one person. And then third person is himself, herself, itself, themselves. So when do we use reflexive pronouns, this last set? We use them in two situations. First, if the object is the same as the subject, right? I'm talking to myself. The last one is the object is the same person as the subject. This is to avoid situations where you have a sentence like, she is talking to her. This means that there are two women in this situation. But if you say she is talking to herself, then there is only one woman in this situation. The second use of reflexive pronouns is for emphasis. Most people think that grammar is boring, but I myself don't agree. So I'm emphasizing this second half is my own personal opinion. Or another example could be none of his teammates showed up, so he did all the work himself, emphasizing that he himself did all the work. Right, so the second use of reflexive is for emphasis. Now, we've been very cleanly dividing these pronouns into first, second, and third person. But as we mentioned, I think in week 1, the word they can also be first person singular they. Sorry, third person singular they. So we can put it here as well. And we use they for singular when we don't know the person's gender, don't care about the person's gender, or don't want to say the person's gender, or because they have what do you call that? A non-binary gender. So the person doesn't think of themselves as man or woman. I should give you that word, right? Non-binary. Binary means two. So non-binary means not one of the two. And in daily usage, a non-binary person is called an NB or an NB, right? NB, you get it? Okay. So we can use they to refer to people who are non-binary as well. So the question becomes, if you are using they for someone, one person, is the reflexive themselves one person, right? The answer is no. It is still themselves, even though you're only talking about one person. And this is because singular or plural are grammatical concepts. They are related to grammar. English is a language where the grammar concept often matches the real world concept. So like for a man, we use he and him. For a woman, we use she and her. They happen to match, but they don't have to match. For example, in English, a vehicle, like a car or a boat or a plane, is a woman. So especially if the person using the vehicle is a man, well, not necessarily. Women also refer to them as women. So like you can say of like a boat, you can say it, but if you really like the boat, you can say she or her. So the grammar does not have to match the reality. Therefore, even when you're using they for one person, the reflexive is still themselves. It still looks like a plural. So far, so good? Questions so far? So in line with calling like vehicles feminine, using, she and her, another word that often gets gendered is country or nation. And for most countries, it's feminine, right? The motherland. But some countries like to use the masculine, the fatherland. This is traditionally for countries that care more about military power, such as Soviet Russia or the Communist Chinese Party of today. Although I guess in Chinese they say like ancestral land, right? 祖国. Anyway, often countries that care about military power will refer to their country in masculine terms, whereas most countries refer to them in feminine terms. And then, of course, the United States has a whole department called Homeland Security, which kind of escapes the gender binary altogether. Yeah, so if you see in the wild a word that looks like it shouldn't have a gender, but it does have a gender anyway, that's perfectly fine. It reflects the attitudes of the person talking about the thing. So like sometimes women will refer to like their clothing in feminine terms. Like I really like these boots, or I really like this shirt. She's very cute. That's also fine as well. Gender is a really interesting subject. I can use a full hour to talk about gender and sexuality, but this is not a gender course. This is a grammar course, so I'm going to try to keep it short. The conclusion is that gender is whatever someone feels like it is. It's one of the more subjective parts of language. And as long as it doesn't cause too much confusion, people can use whatever gender they want to refer to any person or thing as long as that person agrees. And if the person is a celebrity, they maybe don't even have to agree. For example, fans of Harry Styles, especially female fans, will often call him a little girl, like as a form of endearment to show their appreciation. It's a wild world out there in terms of gender. Okay, so those are the pronouns. Questions? If not, we're going to move into demonstratives. Demonstratives are a specific kind of pronoun. Um, in linguistics, we call them deictics, right? Or you can say dialectics. The word dialectic is Greek for pointing or related to location. A dialectic is a pronoun that only makes sense if you can see where that person or thing is. So in English, we are mainly thinking of this and these, which is the plural, that, those. I guess these are subject and object. In the possessive, it's yeah, it's the same. So yeah, okay, yeah, they all look the same. Subject, object, possessive, pronoun, they're all the same. This, these, that, those. Um, these words only make sense if you have a picture of the general relationship between whatever you're talking about. Usually we use this and these to refer to something close, nearby, the thing that we are currently talking about. We use that and those to refer to things that are further away, that are not what we are currently talking about. Um, I think a clear example would be like if you're telling uh, somebody a story, and for some reason you have to jump around in time. You have to say, oh, later on we're going to see this, but first, or later on we're going to see that, but first we're talking about this. Or like you keep on telling the story and then you say, hey, you remember that thing I told you earlier? Well, now it becomes important to this part, right? So this is whatever we are currently talking about. That is something that we are not currently talking about. Does that make sense? 有听懂举手. Okay, so let's see if I can find a. Okay, yeah. Let's do some very simple example sentences. Um, this idea, or sorry, this point is related to that idea. Idea I was talking about earlier. So I am currently talking about this point, but I'm connecting this point to something that I had said earlier, and so I refer to it as that idea. I am not currently talking about the idea. I'm currently talking about this point, but I had previously already mentioned this idea. I am now connecting them. So if you are currently talking about it, use this. If you are not currently talking about it, use that. Or we can also use like more concrete nouns. This computer is much better than that other one we saw yesterday. Right, so I'm currently talking about this computer and I'm comparing it to another computer that we are not talking about. So I say it's that other one. It is not in the room with us. It is not in front of us. You have to use your memory, right? So if it's here, if it's close, if we're talking about it, use this. If it's not here, if it's further away, if we're not talking about it, use that. And then the plurals, these and those, same thing. Okay, now do you understand? 听懂句子? Okay, we're getting better. I hope you'll get a better understanding when we do the practice questions. So the fun thing about let's see if I want to say this. Yeah, no, I don't want to say this. Okay, so that's today's unit. Do you have any questions so far? Okay, if not, let's jump into some practice questions. Page 60. The first part, 6 questions. The problems are all related to pronouns. Yeah, I'll give you 3 minutes to do these 6 questions. 李瑞英、何炳轩、吴鹏玉、杨仁轩、于星辰、周炳宏。You know, this makes sense. I'm calling all the people who need extra credit the most. 蔡依如、杨志允、林品言、李永晴。Hi, would you please help us with question 1? This? Is this correct? Why not? It is correct, right? So where's the mistake? Can you count food? Good. So most of it. You cannot count food. Food is uncountable. So you have to eat most of it, not most of them. Uh, Number 2, 潘兴贤、何燕奎、洪一珍。No? Okay. Moving on to tier 2. 郑弘仁. Number 2, please. Good. My sister and I, because these are the subjects of this sentence. Good. Number 3. 大林. Good. If you want to pass your exams, this should be a possessive adjective. Y-O-U-R. Your exams. Anything else? Yes. Exams, plural. It should be them. Good job. Number 4. 张婉琪. No. 王博轩. Liu Yixing. Number 4, please. Good. It should be possessive, so no apostrophe. ITS. Good. Number 5. 李永晴，要不要再来一遍？ Sorry, where? Oh, here. Okay, right. So this should be our opinions, no S. This should be an adjective, not a pronoun. Anything else? There are 2 more. Is this correct? Mona and I? Speak to. So this should not be a subject. It should be me, right? The object. It is the person being spoken to. They are taking the speaking. They are the object. So it's not I, it's me. And yeah, so I is in the subject, me is in the object, right? So here the subject is Mr. Gray. If I were speaking, then I would be the subject, not me. But here Mr. Gray is speaking to me, not to I. The other one, he explained it to us. What is it? It's the policies, right? So is this correct? Them. Explain them to us. Good. Okay. And number 6, Tusen. Tusen. No. Lan Zhehong. Number 6. There's no apostrophe. Good. We are looking for a possessive pronoun. No apostrophe. In fact, there is no case where the word theirs would need an apostrophe. This word does not exist in the English language. So it's there's no apostrophe. Good. Okay, you guys have questions about this page? Or this section, sorry. We still have the second half of this page. Okay, the second half, it has 12 errors. Oh, sorry, the first paragraph has 4, the second paragraph has 12, the third paragraph has 13. This might take you a little bit of time. I'll give you 10 minutes. Wait, 10 minutes is the break, right? Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes and the break, and we'll compare answers after the break. Let's compare answers. Li Yixuan, well, how do we do this? Are there any mistakes in this sentence? Potatoes. This should be potatoes. Wait, one potato? Okay. The potato are grown? Okay, so potatoes are grown. Okay, anything else in this sentence? Most countries, plural. Good. So uh, your classmate gave the answer, potatoes are grown. That's fine. You can also change this to the potato is grown. In this case, we're not talking about one potato. We're talking about the kind of thing called a potato. The category of plant, or I guess it's a root, right? The category of food called potato. But either is fine. Potatoes are or the potato is. Okay, second sentence. 郑慧宇、黄小涵、赖雨晨. Second sentence. Is there any mistake here? No, this sentence. They were. Why past tense? The first sentence says are, present tense. So we can keep using the present tense, right? Other mistakes? No? Okay, good. So some of you might be thinking vegetable. Hey, this is countable. It should be vegetables. The answer is both make sense. Vegetables are countable, so you can use plural, but you can also say they are a kind of food. So they are the most widely grown vegetable kind of food. In this case, it is uncountable. So singular or plural both make sense. This sentence, 有围棋, uh, 复验数. Any mistakes in this sentence? Good. Many different ways, plural. All right. Entering paragraph 2. This sentence, uh, 王志云, no? 巫秀云. Any mistakes in this sentence? Good. Plural. French fries. So again, the same as with the first one, you can say the potato. In this case, you can say the French fry is as a kind of food. Or you can say French fries are, but you have to choose one. Good. Next sentence. 陶凯丽, 易品涵. Any mistakes in this sentence? Okay, good. If you use plural here, then this should be them. Oh, sorry, no. This word is referring to this noun, actually. So if you change this to them, then you also need to change this, right? Yeah. So this should be S or ES, right? Ends with a vowel, should be ES. So besides frying them, you can boil or bake potatoes. So sometimes we see this kind of sentence in English. The first half has a pronoun, and the pronoun is actually talking about something in the second half. Okay, next sentence. 陈玉慧. Okay, good. Other ways. Hang on, wait. Should this be singular or plural? How many ways are we talking about? We can use potatoes to make potato flour for bread and other kinds of dishes. Is this one way or more than one way? Okay, so the first way is to make potato flour. What's the second way? So it's one way, right? Right. So this is wrong, but how should we fix this? If it's only one, then this should be another, right? Right. Another way. Any other mistakes here? Yes. Here? Here? Where are you talking about? Okay, so this one should be singular? Okay, so same as here. You can say potatoes, plural, or you can say the potato, singular, but you need the. So potatoes, plural, is correct, but if you want to talk about the category of food, you have to add the potato. But this one is fine. How about this? Is this right? So So are we talking about one other kind or many other kinds? Right. So the problem is another, right? So this should be other, good. Other kinds of dishes. Okay? Okay. Next sentence. 叶秉成, 刘一婷, 李永晴, 再来一遍. Any problems with this sentence? This one? Okay, this is wrong. How do we fix it? It is, or you can add the apostrophe, right? It's short for it is. It is not a possessive. So it apostrophe s or it is. Any other problems? Good. Potatoes. Same issue as the previous potatoes. All these potatoes are bad. Good. Next sentence. 王定宇在吗? Yes. Is there any problem or are there any problems with this sentence? Okay, good. Other ways. Anything else? This one? So is this correct or not? Oh, you mean plural. To make products. Good. More than one, right? Other mistakes? Sorry? Potato. Freeze-dried potatoes. Good. Other mistakes? Two more. This one? So this one, right? Yeah, correct. Potato chips. In this case, we are using the word potato to describe what kind of chip. So we're using this word as an adjective, and adjectives cannot be counted. One more. 定语. One more. 看到他在集结字库. This one, right? Processor. This is countable. And it looks like we're talking about more than one. So commercial food processors. Add the S. Good job, you guys. If I can find your name. There you go. Okay. Next sentence. Entering paragraph 3. 何雨涵, 曾安琪, 黄英佳, 刘正凡. Anything wrong with this sentence? Good. It was. Hang on. This it refers to this. Is this correct? Okay. Well, we talked about this problem has appeared throughout this essay. You can use singular, but you have to add the because it's a kind of category. You can use plural. So this would be potatoes. So you have the same choice here. If your potato is the potato, then this should be it was. If your potato is potatoes, then this is they were. So this is wrong. You can change it in two different ways. You can. Potatoes ES. So in this case, where they were. Yeah, change this to they. Good. You want to try the next sentence? Okay. Xu Shuyu. Any problems with this sentence? Good. This should be possessive. World apostrophe S. I need to get better at finding your names. I just called you and I can't find your name. Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay. Next sentence. 딸이. Where are you? Oh, here. Uh, spread. Sennheiser. So this one is correct. How many people? One or more than one? So this should be there. Good. And then, once again, we have the potato problem. Good. Plural. Potatoes. ES. Next sentence. Tony, any problems here? Good. The sun. We only have one sun. The sun. Okay, the Incas squeezed. Okay, so the question is, do we know that there's water inside? I think we do, because you need water to freeze. So the water is correct. Good. Stepping on them. We already have them here. This should be them. Good. Next sentence. Saya. Saya here? Yes. Any problems with this sentence? So this is wrong? How should we change it? Oh, you mean here? So were is wrong. This should be good. Was. Process is countable. Even if it's uncountable, it should be singular. Was. Other problems? Good. 4 or 5 days. Good job. Last sentence. Okay, no. We have 2 sentences left. Sorry. Okay, second to last sentence. Ray. Is Ray here? Yes. Here? Okay, so the name of their civilization is Inca. So when you talk about the Inca people, you add S for plural, the Incas. So this is correct. Like, the Americans, right? Incas. So how many potatoes are we talking about? One potato or many potatoes? It's many potatoes, right? So this should be potatoes is, yeah, this is correct. So this should be stored Stored them. Good. And how many pots are they using? One pot or many pots? Many pots, right? Good. So stored them in pots. Okay, last one. Gabriella, can you help us out with the last one? Good. The Indians. We're talking about a specific group of people. We know the context. It is the context of South America. So it is a certain context. We use the, not an. Good. Okay, good job, guys. Questions about this page? Wow, would you look at that? We still have half an hour of class. Let's keep going. Page 61. Eh. 61 and 62 are kind of hard. Let's do these together. Yeah? Okay. Dear Mr. Baker, is there any problem here? Yeah, it has. So when we talk about this word, it could mean it is or it has. It cannot mean it was. It can only mean it is or it has. So here it is, it has. It apostrophe S. Come to my attention that the watch you looked at yesterday in our Central Avenue store is broken. The band is disconnected from the watch, which is quite valuable. Okay, question. What is the which? What are we talking about? Are we talking about the watch? Or are we talking about the band? The part that goes around your wrist? We don't know. This is a bad sentence. So we can change this, make it more specific. Which one do you think is more valuable, the watch or the band? Probably the watch, right? So we can change this to, and the watch is quite valuable. So we know specifically what we're talking about. Let me, hang on. No, not you. The other one. Okay, I'm gonna get this right. Hang on. Okay, yeah. So this should be uh and the watch is quite valuable. Is this right? It's not right. This is wrong, right? All right, it should be there is no record. Ah, okay, next one. The clerk, Mr. Sievers, told me that you paid her. That doesn't seem right. Mr. Sievers, so it should be paid him. Next one. You and your brother. That also seems a bit wrong. It should be your brother. His blood pressure, this is a spelling problem, not his blood pressure, it's his blood pressure. Let's see, what else do we have? Aha, this is another common mistake. This should be whose, as in who is, or sometimes who has, but in this case, who is. I do not care who is to blame. Next, I simply want it fixed. What is the it? Are we talking about the watch band? Or are we talking about Mr. Sievers' medical problem? The answer is it could be either one. This is a bad sentence. Because the medical problem is closer, but how do you fix high blood pressure? Logically, it makes more sense to fix the broken watch band. So the meaning and the grammar don't match. So we can change this. Let's change this. I want, simply want the former fixed. The former just means if you have two options, the first one. So the two options are the watch band and the medical problem. The former is the first one, the watch band. The watch and its band. This is wrong, right? This should be possessive. No apostrophe. Its band. Finally, the store needs its merchandise. It's one store, not multiple stores. Its merchandise. Okay, questions about this page? Or do you think there are other mistakes? No? Okay, so next page, 62. I think you can do this one. Yeah, I'll give you, I want to give you 15 minutes, but that's the end of class. I'll give you, let's do this together. 3 chaperones and myself left school at 10:03 a.m. So first of all, the myself. It's not referring to I in the subject, and it's not for emphasis. So there's no need to use the reflexive myself. You can just say 3 chaperones and I. Next one. Okay, so the next one we're going to get to next semester, but it should be all of whom. If who is the subject of a preposition, then it should always be whom. The word whom is dying out. This is the one situation where you have to use whom. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it next year. The day it passed. Seems weird. Let's just take out the it. The day passed. My friend Jim and me. Doesn't seem right. This is the subject, right? So me is an object, you need a subject, so it's my friend Jim and I. Okay. Pirates Mountain. This is not a real place, right? It's an attraction in this theme park, 游乐园的那个其中一个设施. So really, like they can call it whatever the fuck they want. It's their place. But if we really think logically about this, it's probably using the word pirate to describe the mountain. It's a mountain that like belongs to. Why are we talking about pirate mountains? Pirates are on the sea, not on the mountain. 海盗为什么到山上? Anyway, so like if we're using pirates to describe the mountain, there's no need to say that the mountain belongs to a lot of pirates. 又不是水浒传, right? So one pirate is enough. Pirate apostrophe S is one possible answer. Pirates Mountain. Or you can simply use the word pirate as an adjective to describe the mountain. Pirate Mountain, right? Space camp, not spaces camp. So either one of these answers is fine. Next one, attractions that are. It's plural. Okay, the next one is a logic problem. This is wrong. Each of the students at my table. Question, how many students are at the table? 1, 2, or more than 2? If you use each, then it's okay, so it depends, right? It depends on if you're looking at the student. It's not one, it's absolutely more than one. But are you looking at the students together, or are you looking at them one by one? And in this case, both students, there are two, Alex and another boy, do the same thing, objected to me eating good food. They're both doing the same thing, they both say the same things, so we're looking at them together. So each is wrong. If you look at them together, it should be every, but in this case it's two, so it should be both. Both of the students. We have two students. They are both doing and saying the same thing. We don't have to separate them using each. Both is fine. Okay. If you are an old-fashioned grammar expert, you might change this to my. Objected to something. You can only have one object. The object is eating. So objected to my eating. But in daily life, most people don't say this. You can think of me as the object and then eating as the complement, a gerund complement. So if you don't think that this is wrong, that's fine. It's not going to be on the final exam. But there is a problem here. Good food and said they wanted one too. Is food countable? No. Therefore, you cannot say one. If you say one, you can say two, and now you're counting. But food is uncountable. So we should change this to some. You have a lot of other options, right? A little as well. And then actually there's another problem here. Again, a very small problem, but if you end your sentence with two, you need to add a comma. Nobody online follows this rule, but it is important because two can also be used as an adverb, which means excessive, more than you want, too much. So to separate these two meanings, if you end a sentence with two, you have to add this comma. So this means also, not too much. Next one, the bus driver and myself. Again, we don't need to say myself. You are not talking about yourself in the subject, and you are not emphasizing anything. you can just say the bus driver and I. Everyone was supposed to eat their school-issued lunch. This is fine because we are using singular they. Everyone is each person, it's singular, but there are boys and there are girls, so we can use their to avoid talking about the gender. Otherwise, you would have to say his or her lunch, and then you would also be excluding non-binary children. If you say his or her, and you have a child that is neither his or her, you are excluding that child. If you say his or her, then you're saying that this poor non-binary kid cannot eat lunch. We don't want to do that. So there is fine. Alex and him through them. Okay, so Alex and this other kid are doing something. They are the subject. So this should be Alex and he. What are they throwing? Lunch? Throwing their school issued lunch. Lunch is well, in this case, lunch is uncountable. Lunch is referring to all of the food that you should eat at noon. So their school issued lunch, they threw it at me. Don't throw food at your teachers. Next one. One of the vans that was overdue for maintenance. There are two ways to understand this sentence. How many vans need maintenance? If all of the vans need maintenance, then this should be were. If only one of the vans needs maintenance, then this is fine. And you're saying that out of all of these vans, only one of them needs maintenance. Yes, but in this case, you would need to change the that. Here's the thing. Are you thinking of a group of vans, or are you thinking of one of those vans and then describing that van? Okay. Example time. You have three options. The one of the vans that needs maintenance. This is when you have many vans, but one of them needs maintenance. So you use the. The context is it needs maintenance. Within this context, there is only one, the one. If all of the vans need maintenance, then you need plural. Need, no S. Now, the third option is if you have many vans, if you have one van and it needs maintenance, and it also happens to belong to another group of vans, just coincidentally. You don't really care about the others, but there are others around there. You might as well talk about them. Then one of the vans which needs maintenance. We're going to talk about this next semester, but this structure means that this is extra information that does not change the meaning of the sentence. So you're simply saying one of the vans. And it just so happens that it needs maintenance. So these are the three correct options. The one in the problem is incorrect. Don't worry about this. We'll talk about this next semester. I think you might be starting to get the idea that next semester might be harder. And you would be right. Okay, next one. It's scared. This should be whoever heard the noise. This is the subject of the verb hear. So whoever, not whomever. Next, we drove to this place. It's the name of a store, so it should be its expertise. However, in daily life, we often say they because we know that businesses are not only one person, but specifically the grammar should be singular. Next, what we needed, again, you're not talking, okay, this position should be emphasis. There is no reason to emphasize the we. So what we needed is fine. You don't need the ourselves. The only one, blah, 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 that takes. Only one, singular. And that's it. Questions? I'm sure you have lots of questions, but we're running out of time. Next page. And the page after that, our homework. So for homework, please do 63 and 64. Okay, see you next week. I should warn you, next week will be a speaking class. You will have to talk a lot because we're going to be talking about numbers as well. And I'm going to ask you to, if we have time, say all of these things out loud to make sure you know how to say them. Okay, that's it.